Hi, my name is Vinti Singh. I am 36 years old and I am the marketing director for a medical device firm. I've been a member at Kanna Fitness since June 2021. So I actually grew up in the area. I grew up right here in Montgomeryville. I was not the most athletic kid growing up. I didn't have the best hand-eye coordination, so team sports weren't really my thing. I did a little bit of gymnastics in elementary school. I was on just a for fun basketball league in middle school, so I've dabbled in athletic pursuits, but again, I'm not really a team sports type of person. I like more of that individual sport, like for example yoga or rock climbing. But growing up, my family did have a very heavy emphasis on the outdoors and going hiking. Parents would take us swimming, so we were very active, and I do like to make movement part of my life, otherwise I just don't feel good. So I've been a member of big gyms in the past, and I have done personal training at big gyms. I've had some really great personal trainers at big gyms, but that was more the exception rather than the rule. It's just hard to get consistency because I think unfortunately at big gyms the trainers just aren't really incentivized to really stick around and build their clientele. Also, I personally, when I go to a big gym and I have to make my own workout plan, I never go in like with a set workout plan. I'd be like, oh, what am I doing today? Okay, I'll do some reps on this and I'll do some reps on that, and I think I pushed myself enough. All right, that's good. But I do always like doing like class-based things. I loved doing like Zumba classes. That was super fun. I did a lot of yoga. So I do enjoy doing class and I guess being around other people because I get motivated by seeing other people pushing themselves. It makes me push myself. I always had this perception of what CrossFit is, and I always thought it wasn't for me. I heard it was, oh, there's a really high injury rate in CrossFit because the culture is to push yourself too hard, and that it's just like very physically challenging, like you're overexerting yourself. And I was always like, oh, that's not for me. But then I was on the newsletter and Kanna started doing yoga classes, and so I said, okay, I can do that. So I joined the yoga classes, and that was really great, and I got a taste for what the community at Kanna is like, and really enjoyed that experience and getting to know some of the folks. And it was mostly women. A lot of the other women in the yoga class said, you should really come and do the CrossFit side of it too. And I said, no, it's not for me. I'm not really a CrossFit person. I don't think so. I really enjoyed the yoga classes, and then the yoga teacher, she actually also started a book club, and it wasn't just people who were in the yoga class, it was also people who were in the regular Kanna gym who joined the book club. So I heard a little bit more about Kanna, and the other, again, mostly women saying, you should really join. I said, no. But then the book club, they organized an outing to actually a pole dancing class in Doylestown. I signed up, I said, let's go to this pole dancing class. But I did not expect the level of athleticism that these women had, because pole dancing is actually pretty hard. You need to have a lot of core strength to be able to hold yourself on the pole and do all those different moves. And I remember watching one of the women, it was Becca actually, just with no issue at all, just climbed to the top of the pole, like no issue. I was like, whoa. And then the other women just completely like total core stability, just able to do everything. I was like, these women are really strong. And I was like, I want to be strong like this. So I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. And actually at the time too, they did some sort of fused classes. There was a class that Emily and Justin did together where it was yoga plus functional fitness. So it was yoga, and then they introduced a little bit of the functional fitness in it. So that kind of helped me dip my toes into the world. And I said, okay, this really isn't that bad. Okay, let me try it. Let me give CrossFit a chance. And what's the worst that could happen? I'm not sure if this is how other CrossFit gyms do it, but I liked the approach that you don't just sign up and go to a class. You have a one-on-one with an instructor who shows you a lot of the basic movement and kind of eases you into it. And I think I had 3 sessions where it was one-on-one. And then after I finished that, then I went into my first class. And even then, my instructor did the class with me, so I still felt somewhat supported. It took me a couple classes to kind of get how things work, how there's a warm-up and then there's a set workout, and you do that together. But once I kind of got the flow and understood, I realized that my previous perceptions of what CrossFit are at least didn't apply here, because because you're very encouraged to do things at your own level. And when I started out, I was like, I'm doing the easiest level, and I was never made to feel bad about that or feel that I was slacking. It was always do what you're comfortable doing, and the emphasis was also always on get the movement right and really focus on getting the movement right before you add weight or you add speed or whatever the case might be. And so I was really allowed to take it at my own pace. And even though in the classes there's always a range of athletic abilities, and there'll be people in the class who are super fit or super strong, but you never feel like you're comparing yourselves to each other. Like, I never feel that, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. I actually look at those people as motivation, and usually those people are super encouraging to everyone in the class. Another great thing about the culture here, I remember early on, was if you were like, some of the workouts are timed, and if you're one of the last finish, everyone else, if they're done, they kind of cheer you on to get you through that last little bit. So again, it's just like a really encouraging environment. When I first started, I would get short of breath pretty quickly doing a run, or definitely couldn't lift too much weight. And in a little more than 2 years, I've definitely seen an improvement. I'm so surprised the distance that I can run now. And it's as much mental as it is physical. Like, you have to believe that you can, lift that heavier set or, do it a little bit faster. And I think I've gotten over plateaus. So I've plateaued, but then jumped to the next plateau and then jumped to the next plateau. So I have seen the growth. I am still by no means the strongest in the class, and maybe I'll never be, but me personally, I have seen a major improvement in just like my endurance and my ability to, do the movements and get through the workout. I enjoy biking, and something that's been on my bucket list for a really long time is the 5-borough bike tour, which is 40 miles through all of the 5 boroughs in New York City. I think maybe previously that would have seemed kind of really difficult and unattainable, but we did it this year, and I was still like wondering, can I do this, like even the day before? But I was surprised that I was able to do it, and I wasn't like dead at the end of the 40 miles. And I think it's because I got that sort of like cross training, even though maybe I wasn't doing a lot of like long rides leading up to it, just the fact that I'm, like lifting weights and everything like that, it gave me the power to do it. And now I want to do like a 50-mile bike ride, or I want to do like a 60-mile bike ride. Like, I want to challenge myself to do more and more. And it just like, it opens up, like if I travel now, I could maybe, see a place by bike, and that's exciting for me. Like in my early 20s, I didn't realize it then, but like I was having a lot of like stomach issues, and it was anxiety. It was all anxiety. Like, and I was like, and I had like a lot of hypochondria about it, because I was like, what's wrong? Do I have like some kind of, but it was just that I was so stressed, and I was like a size 00. Like, I was super skinny, and a doctor was actually like, why don't you try going to the gym? Because I had hypochondria. He's like, if you go to the gym and you see that you can like do this weight or whatever, and you can handle it, like it'll help you feel better about your hypochondria and about yourself. And he was right. Like, it actually did really help, because I was like, oh, well, if I can do this workout and I don't like, pass out, then okay, I'm not on the verge of death like I think I am. Where I am right now, it's like, I probably could if I really wanted to, but I feel like I'm too busy to come more often. But it's nice to know when I have more space and time in my schedule to come more often, and I do want it to be more structured. There are clear pathways that I can be like, okay, today I want to try to level up here. Like, it's nice to know that if and when I want to approach it that way, I totally can, and the structure is here to do that. Kanna started doing youth classes about a year ago, and I signed my stepdaughter up. She reminds me a lot of me when I was growing up. Team sports and all aren't really her thing, but she loves coming to Kanna. She's especially connected with Coach Steph. I remember one time she came home and she was like, I hate gym class at school, but I love going to Kanna. So she looks forward to it. It's just a good environment. I like to see that she's getting some movement in, and hopefully it's giving her some just like building blocks for like if she ever wants to delve more into fitness in the future, like simple things like how to squat correctly, how to do a deadlift correctly. Like, those are skills that I actually think that she'll be able to use her entire life. Plus, she comes here and she makes a friend like every single time she comes, and she has a new friend, and it's just fun for her. I do remember one class, because I was doing class on the adult side and she was doing class on the kid side, and I saw like halfway through she kind of like stopped and was just kind of sitting on the side the entire time, and I talked to her afterwards and I said, you know, what was going on? And you know, she wasn't doing as well on some of the moves that she would have liked to, and so kind of felt frustrated with herself and gave up in that class. And it was a really good like learning opportunity for me to say, like, I am not the strongest in the class either. There are lots of times where I feel like, you know, I'm not doing as well as everyone else, but it's really important that you just do the best that you can do. And it honestly doesn't matter how well you do, you just have to do it. And I think every class after that, like I was like, remember, you don't have to be perfect, you don't even have to be good, you just have to go and move. Like, you just have to try. And especially for like young women today, I think that's a really important message, and I think that is enforced here at Kanna. And I think she really did go into it that mentality afterwards, and then just like, yeah, just continues to love it. I would say, you know, the number one thing is you're not coming here just for the workout, you're coming here for the community and positive feelings that you get from being in this environment and around these people. But if you're feeling like you're stuck in a rut, like every class is different, you're going to be introduced to new movements, so it's just something new to try, and the focus really is on your functional fitness rather than aesthetics or anything like that. So I would say just give it a try. It doesn't hurt to try. I would say I had the same hesitancies. I had a certain perception of CrossFit prior to joining this gym, but this is not what you might think of when you think of CrossFit. This is something different.